All right, everybody. Hey, this is Dave Savage with Mortgage Coach, and I have Giuseppe Battaglioli. Hopefully, I didn't too badly butcher
Pretty
that,
close.
Giuseppe. All right, all right. Well, hey,
Battaglioli.
yeah. Well, thank you for taking time to bring this to the Mortgage Coach community. I'm always looking to interview top producers. You've done over 1,000 Mortgage Coach reports. You are a power user at Mortgage Coach. Could you tell everybody what kind of production you're doing, just so they have a feel for your practice and the kind of business you do?
Sure. So we're in the Denver market, and last year in 2016, we helped just over 300 families and about 95 million.
Wow. So first of all,
It was our
everybody,
best year by far, definitely.
yeah, well, and mostly purchase business, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, there were some refinances near the end of the year, but mostly purchase.
So when you notice when he described that, he said families. So one of the things you'll get to know when you hear Giuseppe is he's all about just serving people. It becomes very, very clear the better you get to know this guy, what a servant leader he really is. So let's talk about, yeah, well, it just is what it is. Thank you for helping us with the Hallmark team. He's the #1 loan officer at Hallmark, and we want to help that organization do incredibly well with Mortgage Coach. So if you could just talk about how are you using Mortgage Coach right now? What is what value are we bringing to your practice, and how are you using us today?
Sure. I mean, I think I'll start off just by saying, when I first entered the mortgage business, the owner of the company, his name was Tom Ward, and he had mentioned something that I didn't remember where I heard it until someone told me after the fact that, there's if you take all the referrals you're ever going to get, there's about a third that are always going to work with you. You're just going to have a great personality fit. They're going to see the value. There's a third that no matter how much value you show them are probably never going to work with you. And then there's this kind of maybe extra third of the leads out there. And I think just over time, the best way to grow your business is to try and capture more and more of that third. And so in the past, I used to take, because we've always offered guaranteed approvals. So to do that, I would always take a loan application, and some clients did not want to do a full loan application on day one. But and in those cases, I would say, well, then I can't really get you exact numbers to look at, and I'd probably end up losing those clients forever. Where now with Edge, what we're doing is just getting for a client like that just wants, isn't ready to really move forward with the full pre-approval. We'll get enough information so that we can put together an accurate Edge presentation for them. So essentially, are they looking at house or townhouse or condos? Are we looking at, about how much are we looking to spend for down payment, goal for monthly payment? And then by doing that, we can work backwards to get, show them 2, 3, 4 different options and get those numbers out quickly in just a few minutes, and at least have the opportunity where in the past I probably would have just lost that client forever to have a follow-up phone call and go through the numbers.
Love that. So you're using it for pre-approvals. It's a way that you're communicating the numbers and the options. You're using it to win that middle third. There's a third you're never going to win. There's a third you're always going to win. Win that third. What percentage of the families, how often are you using the Mortgage Coach report as that pre-approval presentation?
We're usually sending out a presentation the day we have our initial call, 100% of the time, unless really, there's always a but and maybe an exception, but really we'll say 100% of the time. When we're always going to try and over deliver. So, we'll say we'll have options to you within 24 hours, and then, maybe later that same day they have them in their inbox.
I love that. And then we have a video feature. You can add that video with a mobile phone. You can add that video sitting at your computer like you are right now. How often are you adding a video to, by the way, we call it the total cost analysis. How often are you adding the video to the total cost analysis?
100% of the time. 100% of the time. The reason being is that, mortgages, as we all know, are very complex. And so if you want to go in depth with advice, uh, you're either going to send some PDFs, maybe multiple PDFs attached to an email, and which of course you can't explain anything on those. So then you're writing a huge novel in the email body, which probably won't be read most of the time. And video allows you to really, start touching on the different reasons why you're showing them what you're showing them, making sure they, which tells them you've listened to them during the call. I'm showing them options based on how much they have available, what they want their payment to be, etc. And so video just captures that, of course, like email and text cannot.
Love that. So what I heard there is time savings. Rather than writing up an email that they probably won't watch, I am able to put the numbers, add a video, and it's time savings. Do you see Mortgage Coach as actually saving you time in the sales process, or does it add time to what you do?
No, I mean, when you start anything new, there's a learning curve, but they're fast. Less than 5 minutes for each one, for sure. I have an email template that I got from one of the Mortgage Coach videos that was posted a long time ago. I used to actually send a PDF copy also, but I stopped doing that because, again, people were just looking at that and not clicking on the video most of the time. So now it's forcing them to click on the video or at least reply back to me that, they can't access it for whatever reason. So, yeah, all the time.
Love that. Good job. Best practice, everybody. Consistency. Don't pick. You don't know which one's going to be. When you talk to a borrower, are they going to be the third that's never going to do business with you, the third that's always going to do business with you, or the third with what you say and how you say it and how you don't know. So, all the best producers deliver the best to everyone. So what about realtors? Mortgage Coach is designed to deliver a great borrower conversation, but do that in a way that's a competitive advantage to agents. So how do you use Mortgage Coach to support your process with agents?
Sure. So, whoever the referral source is, as we're sending out that total cost analysis on day one, the referral source is always getting copied. So that way they have an idea. They can, we can be on the same page as far as expectations of purchase price range, et cetera, that they're looking at. And that can either make sure that we're a fine-tuned machine working together, looking at the correct range, or it can maybe save them some time if it's someone who has maybe unrealistic expectations and, they're scheduled to go out and look at homes for them all day, Saturday and Sunday. But now they're seeing my analysis and based on their goals and, what they want is really not something that exists in the market as an example, then they can, hopefully save some time that way by altering their schedule and making sure, they're setting correct expectations.
Love it. Love it. Again, you're just so efficient. So let's close out on workflow. I assume you have an assistant with the kind of production you have.
Yes.
What do they have a role in setting up Mortgage Coach? What do they do versus what do you do as it pertains to Mortgage Coach and your team and your assistant?
Sure. So, I personally go to all the closings, and a lot of my days are, maybe out and about. And so we have 4 licensed assistants on the team. So there's 4 of us, and 2 or 3 of us are doing the majority of the initial calls. If I'm not here, then there's always somebody here that can take it, so that we're not, we can capture that client early in the process. And then based on the templates that we have set up for that call, whoever's taking the call is generally building the Mortgage Coach presentation, and then I'm doing the videos, double checking, maybe fine tuning something here and there, and sending them out the same day.
Got it. So your licensed assistants are trained at creating a total cost analysis, but you are the one that's doing a lot of the advice providing, and you are the one who's being the voice, adding the message the majority of the time.
Correct. And that's where, again, I'll go back to that initial point where just having a team, if you're looking to build a team of licensed originators, the feedback I've gotten, I can say personally also, is that using Mortgage Coach makes you a better loan officer because you start to see patterns as you're building options side by side, where in the past, maybe you're you kind of get into a rut where, everyone's doing upfront mortgage insurance, or, everyone's doing a home ready product, or everyone's doing FHA. And until you see them side by side, as you start seeing them all side by side, the feedback I'm getting from our team members is, wow, this is really making me a better loan officer, because I can see from further away a bigger picture, and you can start to give better advice.
I love that. By the way, this interview reminds me of an interview I did recently with Joe Pelosi, top producer at RPM. I'm going to put a link to Joe's interview below, because we talked about his team. We talked about how he uses Mortgage Coach with his team and workflow. So I want to put these together a little bit. So first of all, if you're watching this and you liked it, you got value from it, like it. You're watching it from YouTube, give us a like, say, I like it. And then 2, share it. If you are a branch manager or a leader, share this with your team. And if you don't have a team, share it with your friends, your mortgage friends, that is. We want to get the Mortgage Coach mission out there. We're dedicated to every time a family gets into mortgage debt, they have charts and graphs, they make an informed decision. They understand their options, not just what's the monthly cost, but the cost over time, over 3 years, 5 years, a longer period of time. So Giuseppe, man, you are awesome. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being a leader in our community. Also, is it okay? I think you have provided me a couple sample total cost analysis in the past. Do you mind if we put a link to a kind of a generic total cost analysis, and they can see what it's like in the way that you present options?
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Well, hopefully this is valuable for everybody. And Giuseppe, thanks again for being here for the community, my friend.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.